What's up, family? Welcome back to the Stop Sinking Show, where we go from struggle to flow. What perplexes me a lot about our human nature is that we often have regrets and remorse for losing things that we didn't actually work to gain or keep. It's the most ironic thing to witness in myself and in others. We don't actually want to put in the work to make something happen, to have something that we want, but that lack of work we put in doesn't change the fact that we still want the thing that we want. We just don't want to put in the work for it. Even if we say we do, we contradict the desire with actions that would never lead to the having of those desires. And yet neither the desire is dampened, and neither does it awaken us to do the work. And most of the misery we experience is because of this dissonance, this sitting on the fence, subpersonalities in opposition, not picking a side. Either accept the not having of it or do something to go get it, to keep it. There's a spiritual way in Islam of describing this inner conflict, thought of as the tug from opposite ends of the soul. There's the commanding soul, the commanding self. And if I can pronounce it right, in Islam, it's called nafs al-amara. This is the primitive state of your soul, the part that might draw you towards your base desires, worldly passions, carnal instincts. It's the part of you that sins without remorse or regret, prone to do evil, ruled by the ego, ruled by pride and anger and greed. This is the lowly origin of man, devoid of civility and morality. Then there is the contented, at peace soul or self, or in Islam, nafs al-matma'ina. This is the highly purified state of the soul that has attained peace and enlightenment or assurance. This part of you is calm, serene, content, and submissive to God's will. It is at peace because it exists in alignment to divinity. It subjugates all desires to the supreme, free from negative influences, base urges. This part of the self, the soul, is in contentment and is tranquil and is in harmony with universal forces, not ruled by the lower self. We journey through life hoping to progress from nafs al-amara, the commanding self, to nafs al-matma'ina, the contented self. It is the essence of the spiritual struggle. There is, however, an intermediary stage called nafs al-lawama. This is the blaming self, the reprimanding self, the awakened conscience. This acts as the bridge or the battlefield between the primitive, desire-driven self and the peaceful, enlightened self. This is essentially the part of the soul that is aware of our actions, that has a sensitivity to sin, has an internal monologue. The goal is to use this part of the soul to become conscious and awaken, to see yourself when you sin. But a lot of us find ourselves in this cycle of struggle where we sin from one part, feel guilt in this part, repent, and then sin again. This part of your soul is not yet strong enough to stop the sin, but spiritually alive enough to not let you enjoy it. And while it might be the most painful part of your soul that calls you out on all your wrongdoing, it is said that this conscience is actually a sign of spiritual life. It is a sign that your heart is alive and pushing back when you betray yourself. Because a man who falls but gets back up is redeemed in the eyes of the Lord. Now, while I've wanted to do this episode on this topic alone, the reason I still brought it up here is because it helps make the point today that this fragmentation in our soul, in our personalities, is what keeps many of us stuck. That it is in the clear identifying of true north, or the lack thereof, of something that is clearly distinct as good versus evil, something that truly orients you, It is in this clear direction provided that a person can even navigate life at all or head towards what it is that he desires. Because once you have chosen who you want to be or set your sights firmly on a desire, it allows you to use this middle conscious part of you to pick a side, to either do the work or commit to the sin, to the missing of the mark. The reason for making this decision is to settle the dissonance, the emotional turmoil caused by wanting something and not truly wanting it enough to do something about it. They say if you want to see someone in real pain, look at the person who knows who he is or who he wants to be, but defaults on it regularly. And the reason to know and reaffirm or abandon your desire with absolute clarity is because it saves you from this pain, either by getting your sights set on it with deliberate attention or to move on to a different target. Neither one is a loss as long as it clears emotional noise and drag. Everybody wants the smooth ride till the wheels fall off and they realize they have to walk. Everyone wants the results of the work without the overalls it takes to make it happen. Everybody wants the rainbow. Nobody wants to put up with the rain. Everybody is there when it's sunshine, but most run away at the first sign of drizzle. And all I'm saying is, if you can't appreciate the sunshine when it is sunshine, the ride when it is smooth, and work to maintain and upkeep it, you take away your right to be upset when it is storming, bumpy, and unreliable. Either work to keep it or let it go. If you want to be healthy, if you want a healthy relationship, if you want fitness in any aspect of life, no matter to what end, there has to be a part of your soul, your psyche, your personality that acts as the bridge between the one that is resigned and abandons your dreams to the one that achieves it with ease. The you in the middle is the grounding reality of where you are today. And if you can get yourself to accept your current state, and you can see it, and you can summon some appreciation for where your starting point is, no matter where it is, then and only then can you even do any work to earn and keep the thing that you desire. And then if you don't get the thing that you desire or lose the thing that you have worked so hard for, then you can be upset all you want. At least you are not the cause of your own misery. And sometimes that's the best that we can do, because preservation does not make permanent. It just allows you to cherish what you have while you have it. No matter the effort you put in, doesn't guarantee that what you desire will be what you have, but at least you won't be the one holding you back from it. And if you lose it then and don't get to keep it, the fear and remorse you end up feeling is actually worthwhile and still somehow less painful. And that peace that you feel in the loss can only be earned. I love you, family. Stay true always. I see you on the next show.